Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Red Devils experience. Hope you're all doing well. Today, we're going to be discussing the ongoing story with Marcus Rashford and the issues that are going around with him right now between the club, the manager himself. I'm sure, as many of you know, it was reported Thursday that Marcus Rashford called in ill, did not participate in training. A video then circulated the internet saying that he was out on Thursday night at a nightclub, hours before he was supposed to be due at training. He later then came out, him and his team, and made a statement saying that he was at Wednesday night, not Thursday night. Thursday they had off, which then it was hours later or the following day, it was confirmed to the club that Marcus Rashford did go out on a Thursday night and stayed out till hours before he was supposed to go to training and then did not show up to the training. So before we get into all this and I give you my thoughts and my opinions, just please, real quick, 2 seconds of your time, smash the like button. It's greatly appreciated. Share, subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notifications. Very important. Lets you know when we're doing these sort of videos. So you could be there, so you continue to support us, and you can be part of the discussion. We want you part of the discussion. Leave comments down below, thoughts, opinions, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, and we'll always discuss it. So let's get straight into this. So as of most recently, it was reported by the Sun that Marcus Rashford is facing a fine of up to 2 weeks' wages of $650,000 for partying and missing training. He was not involved in the match yesterday. He was not part of the match squad. And when Erik Ten Hag was asked about Marcus Rashford, all he had to say was, "It is an internal matter, and I will deal with it." So I'm gonna give my 2 cents onto this, because you know what, this has kind of been bothering me, and from when it was initially reported, I knew it was gonna turn into a shitstorm. And it has rightfully probably turned into a shitstorm, but it's a shitstorm that we don't really need, and especially at this moment. We don't need him at any time, but at times like the periods that we're in, where the club is struggling to play good, the manager's under fire, fans are upset, fans are annoyed, rightfully so. There's still negativity looming around the club, even though there is some positivity starting to creep back in. This is stuff that we just don't need. Marcus Rashford doesn't need it because he's not having a great season, which is why I think it was foolish for him to do, and he should know better. But listen, at the end of the day, you're your own person. You have to live with the choices you make. He's no moron in terms of he knows what he should and should not be doing. So whatever decision he decided to make, he's made it, and now he's got to deal with the consequences of whatever he's done. So my whole thing on this is, it's extremely disappointing. It's extremely disappointing because everybody at this club, the fans, everybody wants him to do well. When we get on his back, when everybody's talking negative about him, it's because we want him to do well. He's not doing well. He's not performing, but we don't like what we're seeing from him. And a lot of people have brought up his issues on the pitch, including myself. His body language doesn't look right when he's on the pitch. His attitude doesn't look right. His in terms of work rate, not tracking back, sometimes not making runs, being selfish on the pitch. You could tell, something's been going on since the beginning of the season with him, because he looks like a totally different player. He doesn't look like the Rashford from last year. He looks like the Rashford from 2 years ago under Ali and then Ranić. It looks like he's reverted back to that Rashford. How you can have a player like this, man, born and bred, came through the youth system, and can be the way he was under Ranić and Ali one season, and then be the way he was last season, is alarming. It's quite puzzling that this it's almost like a flick of the switch. Uh, you just go from one to the other. There's no consistency. Many people look up to him as a role model. I think he tries to present himself as a role model. But when you do things like this, that's not role model material. And I need to be fair here because I criticize Sancho heavily for not being a professional, and not being professional enough. And you know what? Marcus Rashford isn't being professional enough, and he deserves criticism. He does deserve criticism. Listen, I have no problem with footballers trying to live a life. At the end of the day, uh, they're human beings, just like everybody else. Sure, they get paid a lot of money and they're in the spotlight and all this jazz and stuff. But when you break it all down, everybody's a human. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how popular you are, um, how much money you get paid. You're still a human being, and um, I never really had a problem with footballers having a life outside of football. I think as long as it's something that doesn't get in the way of them performing, or making them or the club look like fools, or not up to a high standard in the public eye, I never really had a problem with it. Now my problem comes from, if you're not performing on the pitch, if your team is struggling, if you're struggling, um, I don't want to see you going out to nightclubs. Um, I don't want to see it, because it causes problems. It causes anger within the fan base. It causes people to, instead of having your back and supporting you, to get on you more, because we're not seeing you doing it on the pitch, and then we see you going out. So it's almost like you it's almost like football is taking a back seat, and it just gives off the appearance of you don't really give a shit. uh which is nothing fans never want to see that from any player at their club. We care dearly about the club. A lot of people invest a lot of time into their club, and supporting it and following it. And for the players that get paid a lot of this money and they represent us on the pitch, in front of the world, and they have an opportunity that millions of people around the world would kill somebody for. um, we expect them to represent us correctly. And when a player like Marcus Rashford does something where he knows what he's done, he knew exactly what he was doing. He went out to a nightclub uh, Thursday night, and he knew he had training the next morning. He lied about it. He lied about when it happened. Tried to cover it up. So double intention there. And now there's a shitstorm, and I think rightfully so. He should be fined 2 weeks' wages. I would not play him against Wolves. I wouldn't involve him in the match squad, and I'd have to let him know. I'd have to sit him down and let and give him a fucking stern talking to, because this is unacceptable at this club. It is unacceptable. This has been happening far too long at this club. The club has allowed players to get away with this sort of stuff for far too long, just doing whatever they want, and thinking, my problem is the club has enabled has they're an enabler of this behavior, this mentality of, like, these players that are at Manchester United. They walk around with this arrogance of like like the Cristiano Ronaldo. And it's crazy because Cristiano Ronaldo is Cristiano Ronaldo, and he does have arrogance. But guess what Cristiano Ronaldo does? He looks after himself very, very well. Football is his number one priority in basically everything. Um, you know, he has probably the most strict diet out of any person that I've ever heard of having a diet. You don't see him going to clubs. You don't see him going to partying. He's very much become a family man. Um, you know, and so for you to think you're a superstar, or act like you're on some level of like a Cristiano Ronaldo, but then you can't even perform on the pitch like him. I mean, the guy is 37. What is he? 38 years old. Yeah, he's playing in the Saudi league, but he's scoring like 40 goals. You're playing in the Premier League, you can't even score 5 goals. And you're walking around because you represent Manchester United, which hasn't been anything for the past 10 years anyway. You're living off the name, pretty much. Just like the Glazers were living off the name. And it's actually disgusting to me. I don't like it. I don't like these players. Listen, for me, you can talk all the shit you want when you do something. When you win, when you perform on the pitch, when you beat everybody. That's the time you talk your shit. That's when you say, I'm the best, nobody's better than me, and I'm allowed to do this because I've done this. Um, I believe in merit-based stuff in all of life. And, when the team is in this situation, when he's in this situation, we gave him a very high-paid upgrade because he performed so well last year and he needed a new contract. And this season, he hasn't earned the contract. And for you to intentionally go to a nightclub the day before training, that's irresponsible. Irresponsible, and he needs to be dropped. And I would assume, Erik Ten Hag is very angry and he's very let down and very disappointed because, yet again, this is an example of a player where the manager has basically done almost everything and gone out of his way to try and protect his player. Even if some would accuse him of making excuses for the player, to the media publicly, he's done and said many, many things to try and protect Marcus Rashford. And Marcus Rashford decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go out. I don't really give a crap. It's training. We're playing fucking Newport County. What does it fucking matter? I'll go and then whatever. I'll probably just call out or whatever. It doesn't even matter. Like, what's the big deal? So it's a poor judgment, poor decision to make. And he's let the manager down. He's let the club down. And he's let all the fans down. Not something we want to see from our player. And I'm highly upset by it because, like I've said before, when Van Gaal was here, that season was shit. It had me depressed. I didn't like the football we played. Nothing was good, and it was still fresh off of the Ferguson era, so we were still way up there in terms of expectations of what we needed to see from the club. And when he came onto the scene, he made me want to actually watch. He gave me a reason to watch. I was excited by him. I seen the potential in him, and I knew he was going to be something for this club. And you fast forward to now, and it's like, what has happened to the kid? What has happened to that kid that came on, and was living in dreamland after those two matches and scoring those two important goals against Feyenoord and Arsenal? Innocent, humble, grateful, and not taking anything for granted that he was given that opportunity. And he was just happy to be on that pitch wearing the kit, representing Manchester United. And you fast forward to now, and it's like a piece of that has been, a piece of him has been tainted, has been soiled by the way the club has been run. Because I wrote something here on X last night, and I just wanna like say it because sometimes I get thoughts that pop into my head, and instead of just like writing them down, I'll throw them on X, so I'll go look at them later. But I wrote a whole thing basically saying, with the whole Marcus Rashford thing, Ineos and Sajim need to clean this club up. The culture's rotten. The attitude is rotten. The standards are rotten. This club has let players get away with being completely unprofessional for far too long, and it's time this bullshit ends. And that's just not even just focused on Marcus Rashford. like I said, we had examples with previous players, a lot of previous players, one of them being Sancho. There's a few others. The club are enablers in this as well. So the club does deserve blame. And one of the things that I followed up with this on, I was like, the club has played a hand into turning Marcus Rashford, and I had a photo from him from when he first came on, when we still had the Chevrolet shirts and all. Um, they played a part into helping this young man turn into selfish with an overinflated ego. He's paid too much money, was put on a pedestal instead of keeping him grounded and keeping his head on straight. United were enablers in a sour behavior and mentality. And this isn't just true for him, it's true for many of our players. It's a problem why, the locker room is no good, why the chemistry between the players are no good. The club has been an enabler in this sort of stuff for a long time. And it needs to be cut out, it needs to be ended, and it needs to be finished. So I guess now we get to the part of the video where we discuss, because I see a lot of people talking about it. Would you sell Marcus Rashford? And for me, it hurts, but I think I would. Um, See, I was thinking about it really, and the problem is we all were saying PSG. We were saying 2 years ago, PSG put in an offer, sell him, sell him, sell him. It's over. It's time to move on. We obviously didn't do that. Ten Hag came in. Ten Hag wanted to make him his main man. They gave him another chance. Marcus Rashford began to have a really, really, really good season. Continued having that good season. Won people back over, which we were happy about, because that's what we say. Do your talking on the pitch, perform, and we will support you no matter what. Don't disrespect us. Don't disrespect the club. Don't make us look like fools. And we'll go to war with you. Uh, you know, and we'll have you back. But now seeing how it's reverted back to this kind of Marcus Rashford, um, I I think about it in the terms of, you ever been in a relationship and you feel like, you know what, this shit isn't really working. Um, I don't I don't hate this person necessarily, but I'm just not enjoying it as much as I thought. There's problems here that I don't think are fixable. Um, we're in two different spots right now, and you kind of have this in the back of your head, like, I should probably end the relationship. But another part of you is like, you don't really want to give up on it. You want to try to make it work. Um, and so sometimes you decide to stick it out because you don't want to quit on it. You don't want to be a quitter. You don't want to just, you know, give up on it. And this is how I'm seeing this situation right now. We were ready to call it quits 2 years ago. We gave him another chance. It looked like things were turning around. Things were all right for 1 year, and now, after that period, it's reverting back to what it was 2 years ago, and uncertainty has come back in, and we don't know, you know, if we should continue on with each other. And for me, if we've hit this point, I think we should move on. Um, I think the club needs to move on, and I think he needs to move on. Because you can't just be toxic one season, have a fantastic season the next season, and then shit goes sideways, and you become all sour and turn into somebody completely different than you were. I don't like the attitude he's been showing on the pitch. It's really been pissing me off. He looks mopey. He looks aggravated, like grumpy. I just I don't like that shit. Well, like, what is the fucking problem? Is it Sancho? Is it because Sancho was fucking ousted? Did that start it off, and then little other shit started piling on top? Was it fucking issues that he had with his girl? Um, that I think he's now back together with, but it was his fiance at one point. They broke up in the summer. He was doing all sorts of stuff off the pitch, and I really don't like to discuss off this pitch stuff, but listen, I said it in the beginning. At the end of the day, they're humans, and shit's going to affect them. So, if you can't get your head right, um, this is not a place for you, because this environment has not been good for players. And I just think he has to go. At the end of it, he has to go. He has to go for himself. But he has to go for the club as well. It's just not, you know, we keep doing this thing where it's good one season, it's bad one season, it's good one season, it's bad one season. And I think for the benefit of the club, like we've spoken about, if we're gonna do a real rebuild, if we're gonna really start, to build something new and go in a different direction, um, if you get a good offer, if you can sell him for a good large chunk of money, you get rid of him, sell him, take the money, reinvest it, and use that to build the new future of the club. Because also, um, not for nothing, but the wingers that we have, they're not wingers; they're inside forwards. And that doesn't fit with the identity of Manchester United, because inside forwards, they bring the ball in. But the problem is they're very selfish, and they play like forwards. They shoot the ball a lot, but we have a striker that's not getting service. And I think that's pissing off the fans. It pisses me off because I don't want to see my wingers shooting the ball fucking 17 times a match while my striker is sitting in the middle of the box with his thumb in his mouth, waiting for the ball to come to him. It just doesn't make sense, and I don't agree with football being played like that. So I think also he's one of these players that it just doesn't, for the cohesion of the team and the way we want to see them play, it doesn't work. He's not a crosser of the ball. His first instinct is to not look for teammates. It's to take the ball, dribble, run down the wing, and stuff like that. So I would move him on if you get a good um you know fee for him. I would move him on. And I'm just checking to see something, because I did see somebody say something interesting about this, and yeah, I can't find it. But somebody was saying, like, if Manchester United was to get an offer of like about 90 million or something, would you take it? And I think I would at this point. I think I would. Oh, breaking news: Andy Mitten. Okay, this has just come out right now. Andy Mitten has put out saying that, so there is a statement from Manchester United. Manchester United statement in response to recent media reports about Marcus Rashford. Here's the statement in quotations. Marcus has taken responsibility for his actions. This has been dealt with as an internal disciplinary matter, which is now closed. He's back in training and will be available for selection on Thursday. Okay. I don't know if people are going to be happy about that. I think they want him dropped. But I don't think that necessarily means that he's going to be available for the match. The one time that he did break one of Ten Hag's rules early last season, he was in the best form he was ever in, and he was benched and did not play. And funnily enough, we're going to play Wolves, and it's happened again. So history repeats itself. I don't know. Ironic. Usually I find irony funny. I guess I find that kind of funny that it happened against Wolves, and now it's we've reached Wolves again, and it's this is the story again. Only difference is he hasn't been playing well. I'm trying to see where Manchester United actually made this statement though, because they keep saying Manchester United statement, but I don't see it on Manchester United socials. Um, so I'm not really sure where they've made this statement, United, but it is coming from United, and all people are saying that Manchester United statement. But listen, I know for a fact, he definitely shouldn't start against Wolves. I don't even know if I would include him in the squad. If he is included in the squad, definitely 110% on the bench. There's absolutely no way after you know just being irresponsible and being unprofessional and then lying about it. Should you be starting that match? I don't give a crap. So for me, um, the very minimum bench. But I would heavily consider not even including him in the squad for at least Thursday. Um, the apology is fine, I guess. It's been dealt with internally. If Ten Hag and the club are happy with what was discussed, then I guess that's that. You know, but we'll see what happens from there. And that's pretty much it. There's no real update after this, so we'll see what happens. But back in training will be available for selection versus Wolves on Thursday. This is Laurie Whitwell, Andy Mitten, Manchester United. All the outlets are putting it out. So yeah, but again, I would definitely not be starting him, and I would strongly be considering him leaving out of the squad for at least the Wolves match. Um, but that's enough time we spent on this. Thank you guys for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, turn on the notifications, especially the like button. Smash the like button. It helps us out a lot. We greatly appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Please leave any comments down below, thoughts, opinions on anything you want to say. And we'll be bringing you another one like we always do. Please and thank you. And we'll catch you guys later. Have a good day. Good morning, good evening, good night from wherever you're watching. We'll see you later.